Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Diablo 3. We ended last episode here in town after we rescued Zoltan Kulle's head. Well, we reanimated, not necessarily rescued it. But that's also where I ended my recording session. So we're heading back to the Dalgur Oasis.
You're an interesting one, aren't you? I wonder if your friends know what you truly are.
I have no time to entertain your assumptions.
Oh, all will be revealed in time.
The thing is, of course, the Dalgur Oasis is repopulated with monsters. Now that we are back here again, instead of ending on a clean bit. Slight overlook, but doesn't really matter. Still have to head more or less just to the top. Kill the dude on the bridge again. This sneaky dude. And then that's it. See, it's nicely highlighted there. And in the meanwhile, we'll just consume some corpses. Because that's what we do. Oh, exploding minions. And an Arcanist. Let's take a step back here. Bigger step back. Arcane poison shielding. Whoa. Whoa. Let's not get hit here, shall we? Oh, and let's swallow all these corpses. So this is not quite our essence drain that we were using before, or not essence drain, it's called siphon blood. It's almost the same. But bone spikes, they also have a healing component too.
You will not enter the aqueducts! Lord Belial demands your blood!
My essence is too low.
He can demand more things, he's not gonna get my blood. Speaking of blood, let's drink more of it.
I can open this gate for you.
Then please do.
You again.
No time for pleasantries. I think I may have uncovered Belial's assumed identity. I'm very close. But here's what you need to know. To find Kulle's blood, you'll need to get through the aqueducts. There are two levers that control the entrance beneath the waterfall.
How original.
Have you located Belial?
Not yet, but I have some ideas. It is difficult. I have many advisors and other attendants close to me day and night. I will find him.
So you have learned some magic now.
They keep a close watch on me. I can't leave the palace. I stole an amulet from the Vajera ambassador. I saw him use it before. But I don't have much time. You need to find the stone. Leave Belial to me.
He did not really answer your question. How odd.
Perceptive.
Something foul came here before us.
It's Belial. So long as he lives, all of Chaldean is under siege. Uncle Deckard theorized that the demon lords leave demons in their wake, much like us leaving footprints.
And you agree with him?
Yes.
Okay.
The more I study my uncle's books, the more I realize that even I took his wisdom for granted.
Okay, I must admit, I did feel a lot safer with the siphon blood skill. Rather than what we're using now.
Passages are full of traps.
Let's make a small soul switch. And go back to what we had before. And... suppress was kind of nice. Yeah, to slow things down a
The
bit.
Chaldean aqueducts were created by order of the Trade Consortium Council after the Dalgur Oasis was discovered 3 centuries ago. Though Chaldean had been prosperous for many years, a reliable source of water allowed the city to grow even further. luxurious public fountains were built to provide safe drinking water for everyone.
Another big amethyst. Nice, nice. Also lots of poison all over the place. So while he was
I want more time
talking,
to explore the great library of Chaldean when this is all over.
You remind me of Cain.
so just random talking, sure. Okay, let's see if we can continue. So Belial mentioned the Vigerai ambassador that he stole the amulet from. But weren't the Vigerai the sorceress? I think the sorceress from Diablo 2 was a Vigerai.
serve the cycle.
It's interesting to just have those casual little bits of lore just thrown about. They're there if you notice them, but they don't really add or detract much if you don't really notice them. Okay, we got essence, means we get more mages. Corpses. Yes. Let's see. Knockback, fastens, thunderstorm.
My essence is too low.
Yeah. Requires a little bit of essence to actually send my skeletons after targets. And this empowers us. Okay, let's summon the army. And drink more corpses. Or eat more corpses. I'm not quite sure what we do with them. It's satiated. I suppose that means we're eating the corpses. Man, we must be really, really full of those. Also, how does a goblin taste?
I see the lever.
That's one lever down.
I think we were meant to come this way.
Love
Perhaps someone
nests.
waits for us down here?
Someone's waiting, you're saying? Well, might be. For those who've been wondering why I'm running around with a scythe, it's not actually a scythe. It's just a regular staff that I transmogrified to make it look a little bit better.
Said, if you want to know the truth of a city, you need look no further than the state of its infrastructure.
Then Chaldeum is rotting.
Yes, and built on secrets.
And I'm not gonna use the option of the Enchantress lady in town. Kind of forgot her name. To enhance our gear, but I have been using it to just change the color, so we don't have a clown outfit in terms of garish color combinations, and now also just to make the weapon look a little bit nicer. With the swords and those things, you can't actually transmogrify those into scythes, but apparently a staff and a scythe aren't really all that different in terms of animations, so you can mix and match. So presumably you can also do that for other characters.
In recent days, the aqueducts have become dilapidated and infested with vermin. The Imperial Guard has done nothing, proclaiming that the aqueducts were in tolerable condition. But
We must stop her for our master.
My essence is too low.
Those are just regular
Belial must really want you.
dudes. Okay, so Let's retry the lore again.
In recent days, the aqueducts have become dilapidated and infested with vermin. The Imperial Guard has done nothing, proclaiming that the aqueducts were in tolerable condition. But I have seen them with my own eyes, and I know the truth. Many wealthy families, including myself, now prefer well water for our homes.
Well water? Like some kind of peasant. At least that kind of seems the implication there. Just how it makes you appreciate having all the luxuries of modern day life. If you contrast it with having the choice between aqueduct water and well water. Okay, getting fairly decent at just sustaining our mage army. And there are the last ones. Cool. So now we are mobile again. So there was a... never mind. Animation time.
That passage should lead to the desolate sands.
A secret door hidden behind a waterfall. How imaginative.
He would be excellent at CinemaSins.
You shall see when we get to my archives.
I can't believe he stuck me in a barrel. Really, it's quite uncomfortable in here.
A talking barrel. So there were piles of corpses. Expect more corpses from them.
Are you still alive out there? Or is it the monsters? Oh, say yes if you are. Or you could clap.
So there's actually an achievement for standing here for 15 whole minutes. He has... I think he's got a number of lines queued up that he will just spout at you every... half a minute or so.
Smash this barrel open. I would be much obliged.
You actually get an achievement if you don't want to stand around and just listen to all of the lines. You can, of course, just get up and make yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, or go out and get some groceries. But there is an achievement for it.
Talking barrel. Don't worry about breaking it. Me.
So, but now we'll just talk to Barrel. Hello.
Thank you for releasing me. It was getting a little boring in there. I am seeking a magic crucible that legend says was hidden in these very aqueducts. It would be a valuable addition to my jeweler's tools. Help me find it, and I will be greatly indebted to you.
He's just such a slimy man.
Rude of me. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Covetous Shen.
Only an enemy would name you that.
What? I have no enemy. I can't imagine why my young partner bashed me over the head and sealed me in there. This place is quite dangerous without a knowledgeable guide.
Wait, you were his guide?
Oh, yes. I could show you around the world 5 times and never stub a toe.
And you thought I was odd.
Only you can defeat this monstrosity!
Okay, let's just walk nice, past the nice purple lines. Let's not get hit too much. Also, let's get out of the nice electric circle. And get some more mages up.
Place this is. Oh, look at all this wonderful architecture. You could walk all the way around the world and never find its like. Except for this part. I've seen this somewhere else before.
I have wished on many occasions that I could just leave Covetous Shen behind. They did a very good job of making him a very annoying character.
Now, I wonder where my young guide got off to. His name was Gavin, I believe. Yes, that was it. Nice young fellow. He must still be around here also. Or perhaps he got lost? No, we're not lost, are we?
Oh, getting attacked from behind. Skeletons, to the rescue.
Crucible, it's mine!
Be careful, Gavin. It might be cursed. Dear, I did warn him. The crucible should be safe now. Pick it up. Pick it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Poor young man. If I had known the crucible was cursed, I never would have brought him along. If you come see me in Chaldeum, I can show you how the crucible can combine jewel fragments. Well, you know, I've been searching for a certain jewel for a long, long time. I'm in no rush. But maybe if I go with you, I'll find it just like I found this crucible. May I come with you on your journey and make glorious jewelry for you?
As long as you don't cause any trouble.
Oh, the way out is just a little farther. I am starving. Do you think we'll find any good food down here?
Highly unlikely.
Such pessimism from one.
And then he runs off. Yep, he does.
You go on ahead. I'm going back to town. I need to learn the spell.
To restore Cole's body. Just odd how some of the dialogue.
You and I are the same. But those others, the fallen angel, the witch, they're using you for their own ends. You choose to be their puppet. Yet the power of your birthright could make you a god.
I am a priest of Rathma. I serve a greater calling.
There's no need to be snide. Soon enough, I'll walk this world again. Then I'll show you what a Nephilim can achieve.
Yeah. So, got a waypoint here. Next up, get blood from the two caves. So, can just walk on without some dialogue for a change. Don't get me wrong. It's nice having the lore, but man, that Chen keeps talking. And as I was about to say before Cole interrupted me, the dialogue triggers are interesting and weird, and sometimes the spacing of levels.
Beneath this desert, perhaps even beneath the sands we now tread upon. The Haradrim could not destroy them. They could only lock the door behind them. And I still have the keys.
So the spacing.
I can feel the blood nearby. They hid some of it beyond this portal.
Can I talk now, Cool? Yes, okay, he seems silent. So the spacing in between some areas seems sometimes too short to let the full dialogue play out if you're just gonna basically go with the flow rather than standing around. You notice it a couple times with Covetous Shen, and now again with Leah at the door. So if you just come out and you start walking, actually the last quarter of a sentence you got cut off because you were too far from her. It's interesting, those timings. I never really noticed them before.
These halls belonged to Zoltan Kulle before they became his prison.
Hey, hello everybody. Let's fight skeletons with skeletons.
Decay and rot!
One of the nice things of these areas is that they tend to be rather densely populated, so we can build up quite a duration here. So now that we have actually encountered Covetation, we can use him to merge some jewels, to remove some jewels, and basically to do all kinds of things with jewels. I've specifically been holding out on that with that for to unlock him. Basically, just roughly following along with the progression that you would normally get from the campaign. Even though a lot of things about this entire playthrough are odd. Now playing on Torment, which means I'm now level 54.
You will make a fine
halfway through
corpse.
Act 2. Normally you would maybe be 25 or 30 if you would play this on normal.
Having trouble thinking?
But it is nice just not power gaming everything from the beginning. Okay. So we're looking for some blood here. It's going to be somewhere at the end, and after that there's going to be another one of these dungeons beneath the sands that we have to look for. That will get us the other vial of blood, or jar of blood, or bucket of blood, or whatever they used to store his blood. Okay. Hey, hello there, amulet hidden in a chest.
Must have belonged to Zoltan Kulle before he died. It
That
seems
looks-
an adequate reflection of his character.
Looks a lot like what we currently have. Rondel's locket. And it didn't actually generate all that great. It had some int, some fit, some life, but the killer advantage of the old one was of course the huge amount of life regen. Kinda missing out on that one. Though boosting my toughness by 20% is not bad either. So let's wait out for a big diamond, I'll stick that in, and then we'll call it a win. And I think we probably just want to follow the curve here and see where it leads us. Hello, blood of Zoltan Kulle.
We found Kulle's archives. They were strangely empty at first.
Not enough
Kulle laid
essence.
traps everywhere, each step harder than the next. It was foolish to expect otherwise. Kulle has prepared for many years for someone to come for him. Perhaps we are fools, and yet we must push on.
Finally, I have unlocked the secret of the soul stones once given to the Horadrim by Tyrael. An impressive creation, to be sure, but one that I am certain can be duplicated. No, not just duplicated, improved upon. My soul stone will be made to contain the souls of many demons, or even angels.
Yeah, definitely a little bit power hungry.
The evil of Mephisto, Lord of Hatred, was so pervasive that even after he had been defeated and entombed in a soul stone, his demonic essence oozed upwards into Travancore and corrupted the Zakarum priests. Though he fell to the same heroes who killed his brothers, I fear for us should he ever return.
This could be a nice bit of ominous foreshadowing. Though sadly, that hasn't happened yet.
My essence is too low.
Right, so one vault cleared, one vault left to go.
These abominations must die.
Oh, let's get out. Oh, also freezing. Sure, why not? You. And you. Oh, we got a double pack. We got minions as well as blues. So, downside of mortar is it shoots at you if you're far away. But the frost kind of makes me wanna move away quite a bit. Okay, I wanna keep my minions trained on at least something, so I benefit from the life regeneration whenever they hit something, or the life on hit.
I'm afraid not.
Which means I do actually have to keep an eye out that this one remains nicely ringed in gold. So if it's not, that means we kill something.
A mighty foe has fallen.
That was a nice and interesting battle.
Not
Blue pack and a yellow pack. Fights like that, it becomes more difficult to maintain a full complement of skeleton mages.
We, the Zakarum, have endeavored to make Chaldeum a city of mercy and salvation, but we have not yet been able to convince the emperors to change the ancient policy of exile. Prisoners convicted of treason are still sent to the desolate sands to die, with nothing but the clothes on their backs.
That's quite a boost to my life and toughness. And of course by proxy, all the percentage-based life restores become more effective as well. So there is that to consider. Necromancer has a surprising amount of skills that heal you based on the percentage of your maximum life. So you can do with less life regeneration from your gear than you normally would if you just push your life and rely on those kinds of skills. Okay, there are birds overhead. Wonder is when will they attack, and they will strike now. I believe they wait until you are engaged in combat and then they dive on top of you as an addition.
grave beckons.
Okay, and then we reabsorb our mages and then we get to the next fight. I must say the mages are a lot less frustrating if you use them for their ability to generate corpses. Because then suddenly, well, a dead mage is not a negative thing, it's actually a positive thing because you can corpses.
My essence is too low.
Okay, look, it's another bridge. We will go there, but not just yet. We still have blood to find. Look at that. There's a treasure goblin
Some
next to the
of
door.
my blood is within that cave. I can feel it.
Goblin, goblin, there. Second, boys. Goblin, yes, there. Yay, we got him. Actually stayed in place, but yeah, kind of siphoning his blood and chilling him.
I have long
does help.
waited for this knowledge. I am overburdened.
And we're fully loaded on gear and we gained another level, and I realize it's been a while since I've reviewed new skills. Let's have a quick look at that as well.
These are interesting bones.
Long ago, even before my time, great beasts roamed these lands. But death called them here, one by one, until none were left.
Let's have a look at all the new runes. For Blood Siphon, we gain Drain Life. Increase the amount of health restored to 6%, up from 2%. But no longer restore essence. So in that case, the only way for us to regain essence is to consume corpses. That means that in a boss fight without add-ons we will eventually run dry, which is a scary thought. So for now we'll stick with this. Grim Scythe gets an upgrade. Blood Scythe. Heal for 1% of your health per enemy hit. Your health, I'm assuming that's current health, because they are pretty strict about using max health all the other times. So it's less effective the less health you have. That's a interesting thing to consider. Bone Spear, Blood Spear. Bone Spear turns to Blood Spear. Damage is increased to 650% of weapon damage as physical, at the cost of 10% health. So the question there is it in addition to or instead of? It's in addition to. That is rather nasty. Devour gains Cannibalize. Each corpse consumed also restores 3% health. Instead of boosting my max life, it will only restore my health. I'll pass. Corpse Explosion gains Final Embrace. Corpses pull themselves towards the nearest enemy before exploding. But Corpse Explosion now costs 2% life per corpse. Okay, now that is interesting. So you're kind of combining the effect of Corpse Lance with the Corpse Explosion. Army of the Dead gains Deadstorm, 20% health. Raise a storm of the dead that surround you, damaging enemies for 15,500% weapon damage as physical over 5 seconds. Ow, that becomes 20% health and a nasty cooldown. Land of the Dead, Shallow Grave. Every 10 enemies killed extends the duration by 1 second up to a maximum of 2 seconds. So from 10 it goes to 12 seconds, but still it's a 2-minute cooldown. And we gained a new passive, Serration. Bone Spike, Bone Spear and Bone Spirit. Deal 1% increased damage for every 1.5 yards from you, up to a maximum of 20%. Cool. So it rewards you for shooting things from afar. Okay. So let's do a quick portal to town, empty pockets, and then push forward. We do have more blood to obtain.
Hey lady, I got some new things. You should take a look.
So let's have a quick look if there's something that is an obvious upgrade. Maybe. Could we make something out of this? Nah, not really. With 2 sockets we couldn't make up for all the vitality lost here. Not really either. This one has some movement speed, but we will be losing out on some regeneration, but the other stats are higher. You know what? Make a call here to actually go with it. One-handed weapon. And I think I put this one. Did I put it aside? I'm not entirely sure. And this is the old version, though it makes me wonder. Yeah, Sorceress is going to benefit rather nicely from it. Or the Enchantress. She's not a Sorceress, she's an Enchantress. So, slightly increased movement speed, sure. And this one, it does have better stats as well as 2 sockets. The boost to Grim Scythe damage is not actually all that useful. So I preferred things to put into armor are diamonds because the bonus to resistance is very potent. If it makes you take less damage, then everything else of course becomes more effective. Lacking anything else, we'll just put another purple gem in there. Let's see, that's a normal stash. This is our Necromancer stash. Wait, round ones. Oh wow, they are pretty low level. That one, and then you go over there, and then we move forward back to the Desolate Sands. There's actually some gear to pick up. We might as well. Cave of the Betrayer.
A pall of silence lays heavily here.
I believe with this soul stone, I will finally be able to unlock the true power of man. In ancient times, our kind possessed power unmatched in this dreary age. With the soul stone, I will be able to elevate myself to the strength of my ancestors.
Oh, he wasn't wrong about that. The ancestors were quite a bit more powerful than the humans living upon Sanctuary these days. But I think most of that bit of lore will get unveiled to us a little bit later in the story. So far they've been hinting at things, but most of the blatant expose happens in Act 5. But for now, we just have to finish up Act 2. And before we can do that, we of course need to complete this cryptic place. Can we teleport out? Yes, we can. Oh, I like that. It's always a good thing to check with movement skills whether you can use them to escape from certain effects like the jailers getting walled in, things like that. Well, in more hairy situations, your life might depend on whether you are able to or not. Hey, Pool of Reflection. That's more XP gain. Even more XP gain. So we are of course gaining quite a tremendous amount of XP already. I mean, for reference, we're currently level 55. The original level cap before the expansion came out was level 60. So you were supposed to more or less end Act 4 at level 60. Or maybe in your high 50s and then do some more repetitions and such before you actually hit level 60. And that is actually even before, no, was that? No, because we originally had 4 difficulty levels, so the difficulty curve was even different. But okay, before the expansion came out, at least
we must be getting close.
Cooked at 60. And no, Act 5 is basically meant to take you from level 60 to 70. And that's also why the difficulty curve from level 60 to 70 is much steeper than it is for other levels. The difference in power for monsters going from say 50 to 60 is much smaller than their power increase from 60 to 70. And you could almost think of it as now every level that you gain after level 60, it's maybe worth like 4 or 5 levels in terms of how much more powerful enemies get. Given the fact that we have level 60 gear, then we have level 61 gear, And then we have level 70 gear. At least I think that was 61. And that's the stuff that was meant to take you through Act 5. That could... No, I'm pretty certain I'm not wrong about that. We did have a 61 tier gear. Okay, we got some orbiters here and ooh, a unique belt. Let's have a look. What's it do? Sabor's Nightmare. Okay. Infit life, that's nice. Increased blood siphon damage, that is appropriate. Health and gold pickup, and Haunt is cast on all nearby enemies when you open a chest. So Haunt is a witch doctor skill. And interestingly, we would lose a lot of recovery from switching to this, but I don't think it's all because of the life regeneration. No, actually, it is, because that's the last bit of hard life regeneration we have. Oh wow, managed to upgrade my gear out of all life regeneration. It's a odd coincidence. Most of the time it tends to balance out a little bit. So maybe we ought to prioritize getting it back. So for now we'll not equip this one just yet. We do have a passive skill equipped that increases our life regeneration for all the foes within 20 yards, but if you don't really have a lot of base life regeneration to work with, then that is going to become a little bit more difficult.
My essence
On the other
is
hand,
too low.
you don't need life regeneration if you don't get hit, right? Also, my life on hit is pretty decent, and that is one of the ways that I scale the life gain from my skeletons.
The prophet would be pleased.
Very good for the prophet. Okay, more corpses. Skeletons. Maybe you should be paying attention. Oh wow, a unique phylactery. So that's a one-handed offhand for the Necromancer. Lost time. Your cold skills reduce the movement speed of enemies by 30%. In addition, your movement speed is increased by 5% for 5 seconds. Maximum of 5 stacks. And this is a top-end roll on the unique. In addition, we gain a boatload of damage and good stats. That is slightly tempting, especially considering we did just find ourselves a one-hander. For the fun of it, if we were to swap in a one-handed combination, can we do any better with just some random rares we have? No, it's kind of the top end here. So that would take us still up by 90% damage for going with a two-hander. It really makes that much of a difference.
This
And most of the
world
time-
can abide you no longer.
One-handers give you faster attack speed and lower damage, and the option of equipping a shield or a class-specific offhand that is going to help you boost your stats. The two-hander simply gives you more damage at a slower pace, so your per hit damage goes up. It's a nice trade-off. Those classes able to dual wield. I don't think everybody can. For the dual wielding, you actually get the benefit of faster attacks and I think also a slight boost to the base damage of
Can a
things.
wizard ever reform his ways? I do not think so.
But I think there was a definite speed boost for dual wielding. So all the combinations do have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, and those mages become part of me again.
This world can abide you no longer.
There. Maybe if my recovery is not as great, maybe I should step back a little bit every once in a while.
I need essence.
Let my minions do slightly more of the tanking. Did I hear a goblin? Or was that a chicken? It was actually a goblin. Haha!
That is not possible.
Get him, boys! But also, let's keep our army of mages up. And ta-da! Man! Not a legendary. This is getting rather silly. Or you could call it a lucky streak. Warzakian arm guards. Ah, we had these before. They were not particularly awesome. But sure. Let's not complain too much. And instead,
you see that enemy over
move
there?
forward.
Let us cleanse it from this land.
Bone Shell, Arcane. Okay, you know what? I think we'll just step back a little bit here and just fight them one foe at a time. Yeah, Underground as well as Arcane Beamies. That's not a great combination. Okay, always make sure we keep one target highlighted. And we killed another one. I think we got the boss. Yeah, nice. Boss is the cause of the beamies. Minions are just there to explode.
My respects.
Oh no! It is 4 skeletons. I never quite got the thing with this fight, because the other underground archive, you actually have it guarded by a guardian, and here it's just 4 regular skeletons that pop out of the floor. It's odd.
The Black Soul Stone will be my greatest work, my legacy, and my gift to humanity. There will be wars to come between man and the creatures of heaven and hell. The power housed within my stone is the very thing needed to set mankind free from demons and angels forever.
Okay, we still need to put some gear in the holes, or some gems in the holes, but for now that's okay. Next step is gonna be to find the archives of Zoltan.
My archives are at the northern tip of the desolate sands. There we will find my body and the Black Soul Stone.
That is also where we will.
Here is the entrance to my
end it.
archives. Let me activate the portal.
Not enough essence.
And there was another diary. Ah, we've already read all the Hunter diaries. Okay.
I had to build all of this for my research and my experiments. The Black Soul Stone was a complicated creation. I sacrificed much to make it.
Looks like I got here just in time. Emperor Hakan? What are you doing here?
Good, everyone's together. I came to tell you that I have found Belial, and I am ready to lead you to him.
Really?
All well and good. But first, I will be made whole.
We're ready to do our part. Just you remember yours.
Okay, let's do some lore bits, and then we're gonna call it an end here.
You said you know where he is.
Yes, but we must be very careful. He has noticed your actions, and he grows nervous. You focus on the Soul Stone. We can confront Belial afterward.
Okay. Then we got a waypoint, so that's a nice point to continue from next time. Oh, Adrian has something to say.
Your daughter's skill at magic has far surpassed your own.
The power was always within her. Now she's learning to control it.
Was she born with it?
I do not know where her power comes from. I spent a lifetime studying the ways of magic. It did not come so easily to me.
Okay, how about that? I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again next time when we venture into the archives of Zoltun Kulle. Bye bye.